We are live for UFC Tampa featuring Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. This is the fight that the people want to see. You got Buckley, who's got all the momentum in the world. He's surging right now. He's actually the favorite in this fight, which means Colby Covington is the underdog. He's coming off another title fight, loss to Bilal Muhammad. Can he bounce back? If he can, it might put him in line for a fourth title fight. This fight is coming up next.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA Podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege. Privilege.
What up, what up? This your boy Chris Cross checking in. This is the TC MMA Podcast, and that's right. Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley is just around the corner. I mean, these guys are getting ready to make the walkouts right now. But before we get into that, let's get into the full detailed fight prediction, and we'll come back with the full fight reaction. So stay tuned.
You're watching the TCMMA Podcast.
Let's get into the main event, and it's a big one. I mean, this is the last fight of 2024, and it seems like Colby Covington is one of those guys. It's always one of the last fights of the year. Sometimes he's in the pay-per-view fighting for the title. Sometimes he's in the fight night like this, like he was against Woodley, in a big fight in which if Colby loses, it's over. Right? If Colby Covington loses his fight, it's over. It's a wrap. He's got to keep winning to get back in title contention. And this time he's going to have to win 2 or 3. And by that time, he's going to be up there in age, right? I mean, he's not getting any younger. Colby Covington, for him, the time is now. He's 36 years old. He had a chance in his prime, 32, 33, against Usman to win the belt. Couldn't do it. Lost to Usman a second time. Lost to Leon Edwards. Right? The first Usman fight went 5 rounds and he lost in the final minute. The second one went 5 rounds in a fight that I thought he won, but the judges gave it to Usman. And then against Bilal Muhammad, he just got dominated, but he didn't look himself. I was really upset in that fight at the end until I found out later that he was injured. Now, Colby Covington comes into a fight where he's actually the underdog. Buckley is nearly a 3-1 favorite. It's unbelievable. And we like both of these guys tremendously. So, last fight of the year, I just want to see a great fight. But the bottom line is we got to make a prediction, right? So let's dive into this fight full scale, full prediction. Let's get into it right now. In the welterweight division at UFC Tampa, your main event, last fight of the year, you got Colby Covington taking on Joaquin Buckley. And this is going to be a highly interesting fight because Buckley is surging. Covington 17-4, Buckley 20-6. Colby 1 inch taller, 5'11". He's 36. Buckley 30 years old. Buckley has a 4-inch reach advantage, believe it or not. He fights southpaw or left-handed. Covington fights right-handed. On the feet, they're almost even. Both guys hovering right around 4 significant strikes per minute, and that's an average or a legit average because they have several fights in the UFC, obviously. Colby's better on the ground, landing over a takedown per round. Buckley gets like 2 every 3. So takedown defense will be important here. 67% for Colby, 69% for Buckley. So very even matchup here. Colby lost to Leon Edwards by decision. Didn't look great in that fight. Both guys had 2 takedowns. Got beat on the feet, 57-44. But word is he had an injury during the fight. So it's been, just shy of a year. 2 days shy of 1 year since Colby last fought. Before that, he beat Jorge Masvidal in dominant fashion. 6 takedowns to none by decision. Lost to Usman, giving up a takedown, didn't have any because Usman has great takedown defense. Now, Buckley is on a roll. This guy's won 5 straight fights over Andre Fialho, Alex Morono, Vicente Luque, Nursultan Ruziboev, and Stephen Thompson. whom he KO'd. He also KO'd Vicente Luque. So this guy is on a roll, but you run into a tough fighter in Colby Covington, and these are two guys that I highly respect and highly like. So very difficult prediction, but I gotta believe Colby Covington still has something left in the tank. I'm not saying Buckley can't win. He certainly can. But Colby has been in these situations. Yeah, he's 36, but he's not really slowing down just yet. So I believe Colby is going to outclass Joaquin Buckley in this fight and probably win a close fight 3-2 by decision with takedowns. The significant strikes will be close. They'll be battling back and forth, but Colby will be able to take down Joaquin Buckley and really control him against the fence. And people don't like to see that, but that's what, Colby does. He's like an old school football team that just runs the ball. You can't stop it. And he grinds the clock down and he gets the W in every fight that's not a championship fight. So I expect him to win again and move to 18-4 here, welterweight division, UFC Tampa. Yeah, so he's not always exciting like a football team that spreads the field, throws the ball around the park, may not play great defense, but they're going to win 40-30 almost every week. And it's exciting to watch him play. Instead, like I said, Covington's like the old school team that runs the football. You can't stop it. They might win 17-14, but he finds a way to win. And again, the fans don't like it, right? Because he's gonna lean you up against the fence. He's gonna apply pressure. He's gonna land takedowns at times. Not necessarily likely to finish the fight, but he's the safe bet because he just finds ways to win. Hasn't been able to get the job done in a title fight. I mean, this guy, Colby Covington, could be just like Dan Marino. And I'm a huge Dolphins fan, right? One of the best quarterbacks of all time, but didn't win the Super Bowl. Colby Covington's one of the best fighters of all time. Please believe it. Not the best, but he's up there, right? He's up there. But if he doesn't win this fight, his career is going to end without winning a title, without winning the undisputed welterweight title. And I really think that Colby's got something left in the tank. But Bilal Muhammad broke him down, man. Or excuse me, Leon Edwards broke him down. And Leon Edwards eventually fell to Bilal. Bilal broke him down. But to me, of Leon Edwards, Usman, and Bilal is the best matchup for Colby because Bilal plays right into his hands. Not to say that Colby would beat him, but he wants to get you up against the fence too. He wants to control you, and Colby's good in those situations. He's not good in the situations where he's forced to strike because his opponent has good takedown defense. That's why Usman was a tough fight. Leon Edwards was a tough fight because Leon Edwards is hard to take down. Now, Bilal had his way with him, but those are just tough fights for Colby. Bilal is a fighter that Colby could potentially beat or at least make a great fight of it. So he's desperately trying to continue winning. Now, if Shavkat beats Bilal, I don't think Colby ever wins a title. And that's what's going to happen first. If Shavkat and Bilal are going to fight, if Colby can win this fight and maybe one more, he'll get a title fight. But if it's against Shavkat, I don't see him winning that one against Bilal. I say it's 40-60 Bilal, but Colby would have a shot in that fight. But listen, the time is running out for Colby Covington. This is a must-win fight. And the next one after that is a must-win. And then the UFC will give him another title opportunity. Because, a lot of people don't like Colby Covington, but if he keeps winning and he's at the top, doesn't matter if he's beating Tyrone Woodley or whoever else he's got to beat. If he keeps winning and he's still at the top, it's hard to deny a guy a title fight, especially now if he wins 2 in a row. And credit Colby for taking this fight because he's the underdog. But he knows he's got to fight. He can't sit out the entire year almost and not fight. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a highly interesting and great fight. Both guys, especially Joaquin, capable of finishing the fight at any time. So Colby's got to be careful. And what he's going to do is just grind out a victory here and just control the heck out of Buckley. Now, if Buckley can defend that, then you never know. I mean, Buckley wants to keep separation and keep the fight standing and be active, and Colby wants to shut that down with great defense and apply pressure with the takedown game, um, with clinch control against the fence, all that, and he's very capable of doing that. So that's the way it looks. Last fight of the year, and it's a big one. So that's what we got.
You're watching the TCMMA Podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back to the TCMMA Podcast. Colby Covington working his way into the octagon right now and making the walk with him. They said special guest. I'm like, is Trump coming out? I don't think Trump's coming out, right? No, he wouldn't wait till the end to come out. But instead, it's Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan walking out with Colby Covington. Now, Bruce is getting the fighters introduced, so it's about that time. So let's flip over to it. There we go. Oh, we still got the wrong one here. All the prep we do, and it's still messed up. All the prep work for nothing. UFC Tampa, not UFC 310. That was last time. So, I mean, this is a big fight for Colby, right? I mean, as we just talked about, this is a huge fight for Colby Covington. Joaquin's got all the momentum coming into this fight. Colby, fights once a year now. Every year you see him, he's getting older, right? 33, 34, 35, now 36. And he hasn't lost a non-title fight in at least 5 or 6 years, right? I mean, it's been a long time. So, see what happens. And I can tell you this, man. It's probably one of the biggest fight nights of the year. I mean, this thing is trending like crazy. And you had some of the biggest KOs you'll ever see in Tampa, including the last fight with Cub Swanson. I mean, if you didn't see that, that was ridiculous. So Joaquin, still a big guy, right? But not quite as big as he was at middleweight for obvious reasons. But now he's lighter, quicker, and probably has just as much power. So he's going to present problems for Colby Covington. So you got 17-4 Colby and 20-6 Joaquin, who has just gotten better and better over time. And he's 30 years old. I mean, this guy is right in the middle of his prime. But if you think age matters, just ask Cub Swanson. I mean, last fight, the guy's 41 years old, and he goes deep into the third round and then takes out Billy Q on his home turf. So you just never know. All right, so let's tune this thing up for the full fight reaction. So here we go. UFC Tampa, Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Both fighters now introduced, and we're just moments away from this fight starting, and we will be with you until this fight finishes. That's the bottom line. And what we've seen from Colby Covington in the past is long fights. I mean, his fights go deep into the 5th round, if not all the way to a decision. So Joaquin knows that. Does he really want to go 5 rounds with Colby? I think he's going to try to get Colby out of here early. We'll see. All right, so here we go. Fight is on. First shot landed by Joaquin. Colby lands a leg kick. And Joaquin is going to push the pace here. I mean, he's going to push the pace. And I can tell you this, I mean, we haven't really seen it. I had to go back deep into the resume, as both these fighters just kind of feeling each other out right now, of really seeing Colby like seriously KO'd, right? I mean, he was beat by Usman 5th round KO, but that wasn't like one shot, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That was like overtime. So can Buckley be the guy to do it? Colby taking the center of the octagon now. He's coming forward. Buckley working around the outside of the octagon. And you remember, Colby did not look good in his last fight against Leon Edwards, right? Claiming that he injured his foot early in that fight. And who knows? And at some point here, if Joaquin can keep this fight standing and keep these guys, keep him, him and Colby striking, that's going to be to his advantage. Colby wants to pressure you, tie you up against the fence, and build control time. He doesn't want to be in there, in a striking battle the entire fight. And right now, Joaquin's getting the better of Colby early on. At least it seems that way. When you look at the stats, though, it's just 2-2 in significant strikes. So some of those not landing. And here comes Colby. He's coming in. He can't get it. And Joaquin passes the first test. That was crucial. Now Colby wiping his eye. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Yep. He's already opened up here in the first 2 minutes. And it could have been from a headbutt. And Colby's wiping it. So it's definitely bothering him. Let's go, Colby. Get it together, baby. Oh, man. I hope it's not bad. The last thing I want this fight is getting stopped in between rounds by a doctor. I mean, come on. And I'm sure in between if we get that far, in between rounds 1 and 2, we'll get a look at exactly what happened. Oh, Colby takes a left. And I'll tell you what, Joaquin's looking quicker than Colby right now. Crowd chanting Colby sucks, and we'll see if that gets him fired up, and it does. He's coming in. But Joaquin doing a good job of moving around. And if you're Colby, you just got to, Colby needs to settle down. He's getting caught up in the striking battle right now with Joaquin, and that's not where you want to be. He's going to catch you at some point. I mean, he's going to catch you. If anything, you want to take your time. It's 5 rounds potentially. And let Joaquin do a lot of the work. And when he starts to slow down, then you start going in and getting the control time, the takedowns, the clinch against the fence. But there's another big shot by Joaquin, who is the favorite in this fight. And I'll be the first to tell you, if Colby loses this fight, it's over. I mean, he's 36 years old. He's in a position now, not like when he was 33 or younger when he fought Tyrone Woodley to set up the title shot, or after that he fights some lower ranked guys, 5 or 6, to get back to a title fight. This is different. This is must win. If he loses at 32, 33, he can bounce back. At this point, you can't spend 2 or 3 fights bouncing back. And even at that, I don't think it happens. But when I tell you what, Colby's going in for the takedown, and Buckley's just making it look easy. Just defending the takedowns well. Boy, and Colby's taking it right now. Colby is taking it. Come on, Colby. Get in the fight, man. Yeah, he's looking at the clock, and Buckley points at it. Colby continues to wipe his face. He's got to desperately get back to the corner. He's going to lose this round. More than likely. Slow pace round, though. It's just 7-3, and Colby goes down. Takes a big right. And now he's looking to get back to his feet, but he knows the tap is already there. He just got to get to the round. And he does. He gets to the end of the round. Yeah, and Colby is definitely got to get taken care of in the corner, because he's wiping his face like crazy. It's going into his eyes, and it's causing problems. And you see this, Colby looking to get the takedown, and Buckley forces his head straight down. It's a textbook. So we're trying to get a look at when, yeah, there it is. So it looked like an eye poke. And he's looking at the ref, yeah, like his eye. Man, I tell you, every freaking fight, man, something happens to Colby, whether it's an injury or this time it looks like he might have got scratched. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Dang, Colby. It's always something, man. And it's definitely going to hurt him in this fight, because he's got to be thinking about it. Normally he slowly breaks down his opponent to the point where the crowd's booing. Now he's trapped in a slugfest with Buckley. And the difference is now you can't just, slowly take apart Buckley. I mean, you're going to have to get in there and go for it because eventually the doctors are going to take a look at his eye. That's the bottom line. And it's going to cause him eyesight problems. He's having trouble getting the takedowns. And Buckley lands a nice uppercut. And it's a shame for Cole because it's all stemming from whether it was an eye poke or scratch or whatever you want to call it. When they looked at the replay, there was no punch landed. It was just Buckley's finger came across Colby's eye. But that won't matter later. I mean, that's not going to matter. If he loses his fight, nobody's going to care. So he's got to suck it up and bring it. And he just looks way slower than Buckley here. And it's not like Buckley's dominating. I mean, it's just 13-6 in significant strikes, just 7-4 in head strikes. Colby can land a takedown at any time and get back into this fight. So we'll see. People weighing in on Twitter saying Colby is looking rough. 10-9 Buckley round one. Yeah, that's obvious. There we go. There we go, Colby. Okay. Colby's got the head on the hip against the fence. So this is textbook Colby. We'll see if he can pull him off and get the takedown. That's what he's going for. There it is. Okay. Colby's in the fight now. And this is where we want to find out what Buckley's capable of. Because Colby, this is where he wants to be. It's like a football game. One team strikes and we go a little ways before someone else does. And finally the other team strikes back and now it's 7-7. We got a game. And that's where it's at right now. But Colby's got to keep him here and he's got to win this round. That remains to be determined. And if anything, you're not on your feet trying to strike with Buckley, right? You're on top in good position right where you want to be. Here we go. Colby lands some strikes now. Let's go. He's trying to go to the full mount, but Buckley's doing a good job of keeping his foot, keeping that half guard in. And Colby's going to continue to try to work that left leg. Now he goes into side control. Yep, and now they're getting slippery, and Joaquin gets back to his feet. So pass another test there. And you can see it, Colby trying to keep him down, but they're both sweating big time, and he just slid right out of it. So that's going to play a factor as well. And now the fight swings back to Buckley at the moment. And what's Colby thinking right now? He finally gets Buckley to the ground. It's been a struggle. And after about a minute, Buckley gets back to his feet. Now Colby defends a takedown. I don't think that's where Joaquin wants to go. Why are you trying to get takedowns? Colby will continue to apply pressure at different times. I mean, we've seen that against Usman. We've seen that against Leon Edwards, who really dominated Colby. Ooh, Colby takes a left coming in. And Colby clearly having trouble seeing. Yeah, and we're looking at old stats. Because the dang thing is behind. So Buckley's way up, 20-10 in the first round, 21-8 in this round. So Buckley's got a major advantage right now. Ooh, big left by Colby though. Okay. I've seen this too many times from Buckley, man. Eventually he's going to land something big, Colby. You better get back into the body. When he comes in, you got to go in for that takedown. But he's having trouble seeing, so. And, Colby talks a lot of trash before fights. And Buckley's starting to show out a little bit here. Show off, taunt Colby. And, that's what happens when you're a loud voice. and they're getting him cleaned up once again, but for how long? Until the next round starts. Trying to get a look at that cut, but it's hard. Colby's got to find a way to win this fight, or his career is slipping away. And what a shame. I mean, he's like the Dan Marino of the UFC, a guy that gets to the top, gets very close, and cannot deliver, cannot get the job done, right? That's where it stands right now. Got people weighing in the chat. We got Ridwan saying it's crazy watching UFC from Nigeria. Starts 1 a.m. Now it's 7 a.m. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. It's 1 a.m. here now. Blue 3. Colby's relentless. Maybe cardio will carry him, but I think he's on a decline. Yeah, I mean, right now it's looking that way. I mean, it's looking that way right now as people get involved in the chat. And people are going to go crazy if Colby loses this fight. I mean, there's a lot of haters out there. You know, we still got Colby on the due list barely. He's down to 15. It's kind of like waiting to see what happens. And, you know, I think the biggest problem for Colby is he's waiting. You know, when you're 30, 31 and you're waiting a year to fight, okay, you're in your prime. I mean, that's not great either because you're in your prime, but now you're getting older. I mean, you got to fight, man. And Colby's taking some punches right now. He just took a left and a right combo. And Colby clearly having trouble seeing it. He goes in for the takedown. Joaquin's corner just said he was looking for it. And now Joaquin's on top, and this is not good for Colby. Oh, full mount. Colby's in trouble. Now Colby spins out of it, yep. And both guys are slick. These takedowns are going to be tough. Colby hanging in there, but the problem is Joaquin is just too tough on the feet, man. And when we made our prediction, this is what I did not see coming. I thought at some point, you know, Colby would take over this fight. And it's funny, he walked in with Hogan into the ring, and now he's looking like Hogan. When Hogan used to have the white hair, then his face is all red. You know, that's how Colby's looking at, you know, minus the white hair. So Colby's a tough dude. A lot of guys would have went down already. Come on, Colby, get it together, baby. Looking for another takedown. He's just not going to get it. Joaquin just doing a phenomenal job. And Colby's content with going right to his back. I mean, it's better than almost being on the feet. And Colby's trying to spin around and do something here. And he shoots for the single leg. At all costs, Colby wants to keep this fight on the ground, even going straight to his back. And it's just not going to work. And Colby's running out of power now. He's running out of endurance and steam, whatever you want to call it. Colby really attacking the single leg here. You know, he's going to what he knows, right? This is what he knows. Boy, now he's got a triangle on Colby. Look at this. Boy, this is not good, man. It's locked in, too. Colby's in a tough spot here. Oh, my goodness. He gets out. I'm telling you, these guys are slippery, man. These guys are slippery. Man. Colby finds himself on top now all of a sudden. And he's going to have to win the final 3 rounds. And right now, I mean, it's not looking good at this point in the round, but right now Colby is building up control time. He's on top, and he's pounding away a little bit here. Come on, Colby. And if you're Colby at all costs, you got to keep this fight on the ground. The judges are going to give you this round if you keep it on the ground, right? It's going to be very hard for them to give a guy 3-0 in the first 3. I mean, if it's close, Colby's getting this round. I'm telling you. Joaquin on his back. And this is where, you know, Colby wants the fight to be, right? This is where he wants the fight to be. And Joaquin having a little bit of trouble getting up. He's got his back up against the fence. That's a good thing for him. And if Joaquin gets back up and lands some strikes here, he might take this round and this fight will be over. Right? I don't see Colby getting a finish here, maybe a submission, but Joaquin's too good. I mean, now he's back to his feet, up against the fence, and eventually he's going to shove Colby off, and we'll see what happens. But Colby desperately trying to hold on. Yeah, 25-5 this round. Look at that, 20-10, 30-14, 25-5. Oh my gosh, 75-29 in significant strikes. Just sheer domination. Now we got a time. Yeah, and they're going to look at it because you can. They're going to look at his eye because you can look all over Buckley's leg, and it's just there's a lot. They're saying he's fine. Is that what they're saying? That's it? What are you talking about? I mean, yeah, gosh dang it, man. Are you serious? I've seen way worse. Still keep going. I mean, what was that fight a couple weeks ago where the girl's eye was like, I mean, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Wow. So this fight gets stopped by the doctors. Colby looks dejected. It didn't go his way. And okay, there's the jab. Yeah, that wasn't where the eye happened. They need to go back earlier. And it looked like not. But yeah, listen, Joaquin dominated this fight. And see, I thought the doctor came in and said, it's fine. Look, I mean, we've seen way worse. I mean, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Dadgummit. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. Colby just had some terribly bad luck, and it doesn't seem like the title's ever going to be in his hands now. I just don't see that happening. EP man saying, just KO him, Buckley. Yeah. Ridwan back. Says, now I want to see Kamaru versus Buckley. I know. Where the heck has Kamaru been? That would be a good fight. Blue 3 says, oh, hell no. Oh, man, I hear y'all, man. But listen, that's the way it goes. Doctor stoppage in round 3. At this point in the fight, Buckley was absolutely dominating. So Buckley gets to win. He's going to move to 21-6 here. Welterweight division, UFC Tampa. So, dang, that's the way it goes, I guess. Colby Covington falls. Joaquin Buckley gets a huge win here at UFC Tampa, and it wasn't the way we wanted to see this card finish because you had so many great KOs. Do we even have a submission night? I don't think so. I mean, what a way to end the year, too. Just, there's some decisions tonight. I mean, it's going to be on every card, but a lot of amazing KOs tonight. I mean, just big time KOs. Yeah, so Buckley's telling the crowd, I know you all want to see a KO. And that's what we did want to see, right? We wanted to see a KO. We didn't get it. Instead, the doctor comes in and stops it. And the thing with Colby is, despite the eye, I still think he goes 5 rounds and doesn't get KO'd. I mean, you never know. But look how big this guy is. Look how big Joaquin Buckley is for a welterweight, dude. I mean, it's like he definitely looks skinnier, but his shoulders and chest are ridiculous. And that's what makes it tough for Colby to take him down. And then all the sweat, they're sliding out of these positions. So, I mean, I can make excuses for Colby, but I won't. I mean, the bottom line is, he had the opportunity twice against Usman. He couldn't get the job done, even though he fought well. He had the opportunity against Leon. He didn't look himself. I was pissed at the end of that fight. And then we find out, he was injured early in the first round, which would explain why he didn't look well. So now this is a bounce back fight. He's got the opportunity, and guess what? He can't get the job done. And basically, y'all, Colby Covington is finished as far as fighting for the title. Now it's all about show fights and being the gatekeeper. And I don't know how long Colby's going to stick around to do that, because that's not in his nature, right? His nature is to be fighting for titles. Even if he doesn't win them, he wants to be fighting for them. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all watching. That's the last fight of the year, so we got 4 weeks before the next UFC fight. I mean, it's crazy. So we'll be back real soon, man. Stay with the channel. We got all types of fight predictions we're pumping out. But for now, this is your boy Chris Cross. Hope you have a great day and God bless. As always, peace.